Hello and welcome to another episode. I am Brian, the Unskilled Commander. And this is match 2 of Wick Rats, Mabel Mice, Ronnie Goad, and Assassin's Mirror. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. Please subscribe, check out some other stuff, throw some likes around, all that garbage. Check out my comedy skits. I'm proud of those, that they're worth like a good smile, a chuckle, something. So as I said, this is the match 2 of these 4 decks. They're all new. This is all about testing them, seeing if we can make them better, where they need improvement to make them so I can play them against my friends and people on streams. As usual, we've skipped the first 3 turns. I've done them already. And as we go around, I'll tell you what transpired if anything major happened. So we are going to jump into turn 4. Wick was able to go first. All they did was be able to play a Bonder's Ornament on turn 3 and their normal lands. So we will untap, upkeep, draw. I'll play a Island for turn, tap the Mudflat Valley I have to play the Soul Ring I just top decked. Soul Ring and 2 more, one of them being black, to play Wick, the World Mine. A 2/4, whenever Wick or another rat enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 black snail creature token if you don't have a snail. But if you do have a snail, put a +1/+1 counter on a snail you control. You can then pay blue, black, and red and sacrifice a snail you control to deal damage equal to its power to every opponent and draw cards equal to its power. I still have 2 mana. I'm going to tap the Bonder's Ornament for a black and 1 other to play a Rat Colony right off the bat, and now my snail gets a counter. It is a 2/2, and Rat Colony is a 2/1 that gets a +1/+0 for each other rat I control. So technically, right now, it's a 3/1. No hasties or anything, so that's all I can do. We will pass. Over to Mabel, heir to Cragflame. Now, she had some pretty decent early turns just because we focused on the ramp, sort of. So we're going to untap, upkeep, draw. I'll play a Mountain for turn. We already have an Arcane Signet and a Patchwork Banner out. As the Patchwork entered, we declared Mice, so Mice now get +1/+1, and it taps for 1 color. We also have Brotherhood Regalia out. Equipping a legendary creature for 1, and equipped creature has Ward 2, is an assassin in addition to its other type, and can't be blocked. We are now going to go ahead and tap 1, 2, 3 to play Mabel, heir to Cragflame. Other mice you control get +1/+1. She's a 3/3, and when Mabel enters, you make Cragflame, a legendary equipment artifact token that gives +1/+1, vigilance, trample, and haste to the equipped creature. This wicks out perfectly. We're going to tap 1 to equip the Brotherhood Regalia onto Mabel, because it's the legendary creature. Well, wait a second. So we're going to tap 2 and equip Cragflame to Mabel. So now she has +1/+1, haste, vigilance, and trample, so she is a 4/4. Then we will tap the last mana to equip the Brotherhood Regalia to her, making her unblockable. Pretty sweet. Now, before anyone asks, this is not actually supposed to be a Voltron commander deck. I have Kimba. That's what she is. You load her up a bunch of swords and all kinds of awesome equipment and go in for commander damage. I also have some other commander damage decks like the Third Doctor, which I'm proud of, and stuff like that. Mabel is actually meant to be a go wide deck because the mice from Bloomborough have really fun effects that say when you target them for the first time each turn with a spell that you control, they do something. See, the idea is to have spells and equipment that I can just attach to each of the different mice on the field, triggering all of their abilities, hopefully buffing them up and tapping creatures down and all kinds of stuff, and swinging in for a bunch of mice. Now, she's unblockable with haste, vigilance, and trample, but she's still only a 4/4. Now, 4 commander damage this early in the game's pretty decent. The question would be, do we really want to swing when we have no defenses? Because, yeah, we could swing at either of these 2, but they would then crack back with almost equal damage, if not more. As much as I want to swing with Mabel right now, I think we have to hold back just until we can get some other mice out, hopefully. Pass turn. Over here, we're going to untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Now over here, we just played a couple lands and a Decanter of Endless Water. I will play a Fiery Islet. Unfortunately, you have to pay a life whenever you tap it to get any mana out of it, which isn't great. But we will go ahead and tap 4. So we tap the blue into the Darkwater Catacombs that we have. So it makes blue, black, red, and then 1 other off the Decanter for the Ronnie. A 3/4. Whenever she enters or attacks, create a red aura enchantment token named Mark of the Ronnie attached to another target creature. That creature gets +2/+2 and is goaded. Whenever a goaded creature deals combat damage to an opponent of mine, investigate. Now, I forgot about the investigate all of last game because Ronnie did pretty decent and goaded the rats and the mirror pretty well. So she was drawing some cards, or she should have been making some tokens rather, but I forgot. So the question is, who do we want to goad? As I said last game, goading individual creatures is good because you can goad a really powerful creature to damage your opponents, or you can goad a weak creature that's really important to someone's functioning of their deck so that they have to attack with it and someone else blocks and blows it up. Now, speaking of that, I could goad Arbaz. That's kind of what I did last time. Now, it does give it +2/+2, and that would make Arbaz a 4/4. Not super easy to block and destroy, especially at this point in the game. However, you know what? I think we kind of have to, right? Because she's unblockable. It's the perfect target. Because now it's a 6/6 that's unblockable, and it has to attack. And it can't attack the Rani, so it's going to blast them over and over for commander damage. I like that idea, from this standpoint at least. There's nothing we can do, we're going to go ahead and pass. Now that could make these two gang up on the Rani to try and... We're going to untap, upkeep, draw. Over here, we did pretty well. Arbaz Mur came out turn 2 because it's a 2-drop. I love that. Love commanders that are only 2 cost. It's a 2/2 that says whenever he or another non-token historic permanent enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. As you can see, we're up by 4 and everyone's down by 4 because we played Arbaz, and then we immediately, over the next couple turns, played a Soul Ring, a Clolish or Relic, and a Mirror Scrappling. This is just a little 1/1 mirror that says sacrifice it to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So now we're going to play an Abstergo Entertainment for our land for turn. Then we'll tap Soul Ring. Oh, it's a legendary land, so we gain a life and everybody loses. We're going to tap Soul Ring for a gold mirror. Going to gain life. Everybody loses. Then we'll tap 1, 2, 3 to play Alloy Mirror. We gain a life. Everybody loses. And that's this little... Both of these just tap for mana. Now, as you may have saw last game, the mirror is great for piping little tiny damage like this. I mean, yes, we're up to 47 life, but everyone's going to start swinging in. I'm sure they're going to come at us because why wouldn't you? That's the perfect target. Go for commander damage because we're gaining life. The point is, my mirror deck now, it does okay in the beginning. It needs to get rolling because right now, who cares, right? I've got a 2/2, a 1/1, a 1/1, and a 2/2. I am not threatening. Yes, I've been pinging everybody and gaining life, so I'm going to take damage. Which the point is, it's like I need to get all of those buffs out that you may have saw in the first matchup, where all of my mirror artifacts were getting +4/+4. Then they were suddenly a force to be reckoned with, and that's why they won. But let's go ahead and pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw over here for turn 5. Play a command tower. All right, we're going to tap this for red, black, blue, and 1 other to play Cult of Skaro. Now this is obviously not a rat. It's a 4/4 Dalek that whenever it attacks, choose 1 at random, put a +1/+1 counter on each artifact creature you control, draw 2 cards, make a Dalek, or each opponent loses 4 life. I have 4 mana left. Fortunately, it's not the right colors. Well, I mean, I suppose I could think ahead and just do it like this. So tap 2 blue and Soul Ring to Spellgyre. Choose 1, counter target spell, or surveil 2, and then draw 2 cards. So surveil is look at the top 2, put them into your graveyard or on top of your library, and then draw 2. I'm going to go ahead and put both of those on the... Oh, nope, sorry. Put both of them into the graveyard. Keep forgetting what surveil is. And then draw 2. That's better. I wanted to see at least 1 rat. Okay. Nothing else has really changed on the battlefield on my side right now, so there's really no point in swinging. I know having Cult of Skaro seems weird, but it's like I just liked the card. I have the full art of it. And I want to use it in something, but it doesn't fit in my Dalek Emperor deck because that's only 2 colors. This is 3 colors, blah, blah. But it matches the color scheme of Wick. And you know what? Even if I don't have snail or rats out, I can start making little 3/3 Daleks or ping my opponents or whatever. So that still works. We're going to go ahead and pass turn. Over here, we untap, upkeep, draw for turn. I'm going to play a Plains for turn. Oops. I will tap 3. To play Mouse Trapper. It's a 3/2 with flash. Whenever Mouse Trapper becomes the target of a spell or ability I control for the first time each turn, tap target creature an opponent controls. And then 1, 2, 3 to play Sword of Feast and Famine. I guess technically I really should have played that first and equipped it instead of putting the mouse, but I want a blocker because we're going to freaking swing. Although I do have Vigilance, don't I? Well, that's dumb on me. But again, as I said, I don't want this to be a just Mabel commander damage deck. Last game we saw I had a couple different creatures out and I was able to equip them and they had different triggers, which was fun. But still, you still haven't gotten to see the ideal situation for the rats. Or the mice, rather. So as of right now, Mabel is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She is a 7/7 with Trample, Haste, Vigilance, and Unblockable, and Goaded. And yeah, we're going to swing her at you because, yeah, you're the one paying us. So there you go. 7 commander damage. knock you back down the starting life total. But only 2 more hits from her, and you're dead. So you're going to have to do something real fast if you want to survive. And then she'll have to go to you, and then because there won't be any other targets, she'll go to you, and then by then, hopefully Ronnie, theoretically from Ronnie's perspective, would have other stuff going. But that's all we can do. We're going to pass turn. Ah, wait, I almost forgot. So a goaded creature dealt combat damage, so we investigate, so we make a clue token. So now we're going to untap, upkeep, draw for turn. I will go ahead and tap this and this, taking a damage, to play a Thought Vessel. Then 1, 2, 3 to play an Alloy Mirror over here. So this one is a 2/2 that adds mana, any color. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Twinsies! Regrettably, it doesn't have haste, so I can't crack the clue because I could use some extra lands. I'd like to draw a card, but that's fine. Right now, I should attack with Ronnie so that makes another mark of the Ronnie enchantment that it's put on something else, but she can't get in. She's only 3/4, everyone's got enough to stack, block, and kill her. I don't want that. And we're going to go ahead and just let Mabel do the work for us, really, at this point. So we're going to pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. That's not bad. I'm going to go ahead and tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to play the enchantment True Conviction from the Transformers Secret Lair. Creatures you control have Double Strike and Lifelink. The Lifelink is really the important part, but right now Double Strike is nice and all, but okay, cool, that's 2 damage, 2 damage, 4 damage, 4 damage. I mean, meh. Great for blocking because I can block, it may die, but I gain life off of it, so that's good. So that's an enchantment, it doesn't trigger, so we don't even get any kind of pings, so we're going to pass turn, unfortunately. You know what, we will. Sorry, I don't pass turn. So I will tap 2 and play Sword of the Animist. Gaining a life, everybody loses 1. I unfortunately cannot equip it right now because I only have 1 mana and it's 2 to equip, but that's fine. Now we're kind of making a target because we have less blockers and we pinged everybody again, but we're really not the threat. That's the threat, and this is the threat. So pass turn. We come over here to turn 6, untap, upkeep, draw for turn. We'll play a swamp for turn. I will tap 2 to play another rat colony, so my snail goes up. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 to play Glen Eldra Liege. It's a 2/3 flyer. Other blue creatures get +1/+1, and other black creatures get +1/+1. So this is now a 6/6. This is now a 4/6. And this is 2, 3, 4. And now all the rats get more power as well. 3 mana left. Unfortunately, everything in my hand is 4 mana and also needs more specific colors. So like I said, we have a 6/6. And we do want to try and get some of those abilities. So what's the best? Yeah, we will go ahead and swing Cult of Skaro at you. On attack, we're going to roll a dice. It should be a d4, so we're 1, 2, 3. So on 5 and 6, we have to re-roll. 3. So what is the third thing? 1, 2, 3. Create a 3/3 Dalek artifact creature token with menace. Heck yeah. All right, so you've got a 6/6 coming at you. You got a 3/4 and a 2/2. The best you could do is 5 damage. You're not going to kill it. 6 damage is a lot, so you'll block with the Alloy Mirror, and that's that. Nothing else we can do. We pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Play a Plains for turn. Tap 2. Equip Sword of Feast and Famine, because at this point you might as well go for commander damage onto her. Now, I don't have anything that draws me cards, and that is regrettable because I could use something. Alright, so we're going to move to combat. The question being, like, it's still goaded, but do we really need to swing it again at you? You've done some stuff. You do have lifelink and double strike, but they're still little babies. They're not going to hurt anything. You have a flyer, which we can't deal with, and you're making Daleks, and you've got a snail that you can sacrifice next turn to ping everybody and draw cards. So we're going to switch gears and send that at you. 9. Yeah, that's a big, big hit. When it deals combat damage to a player thanks to the sword, that player discards a card, and I untap all lands I control. I guess they'll... I mean, I have Chain Assassination, so I could destroy Mabel. And it's an instant, so if I held... I don't have enough mana. I also have Grave Pact that I would really like to play. Whenever a creature I control dies, each player's other player sacrifices a creature, because I can sacrifice my snail, and that would force them to sacrifice, so that Rowney would go. You see what I'm saying? Now, obviously, Mabel would sacrifice the Mousetrapper, but I think... So it's like we could target Mabel, sure, but she's clearly spreading it out right now. But if we continue to be the threat, she'll swing it at us again. I'm going to take the risk. I just really want to play Grave Pact and utilize that ability with the snail. So that's all we can do there. I have 2 instants in my hands. Neither one really is helping anything right now. So we'll pass turn. So untap over here. Upkeep, draw. Alright, we're going to play a Labyrinth of Scophus. It's just a land that taps for colorless, but you can pay 4 and tap it to remove target attacking or blocking creature from combat. Yeah, just enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to play Frontier Warmonger. It's a 4/4. Whenever one or more creatures attack one of my opponents, those creatures gain menace until end of turn. And then we'll tap 1, 2, 3 to play Agitator Ant. At the beginning of my end step, each player may put 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature they control. Goad each creature that had counters put on it this way. Most likely, people aren't really going to take advantage of that, unless it's a really powerful creature already and they don't care and they were going to swing with it no matter what. Like, they're not going to put counters on anything, because yes, life gain and double strike, but it becomes goaded and has to swing into something much bigger than it and dies anyway. But this is nice because anything that swings at my opponents becomes menace. That's all we can do. We're going to go ahead and pass. We're going to untap, upkeep, draw. Temple of the Triumph comes in tapped, but I can't scry one. Yeah, we're definitely going to leave that there for sure. I will tap the Soul Ring to equip Sword of the Animist. Question as to who, I guess. Shoot. I don't really want to put it on the commander because I don't want to swing with the commander. Yeah, we'll put it on the Alloymer. I was about to swing to try and get more lands, but the card that's on top of my library is actually good. I want that, so I'm not going to swing with it just yet. I'm going to pass turn. Artifacts aren't doing as great this time. That's fine. It did great last game. We're going to untap onto turn 7 here. Upkeep, draw. So I want 3 black and then 1 other color. To play Grave Pact. Whenever a creature I control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. Yeah, that's true. We don't have the right colors, unfortunately, right now to do Sacrifice a Snail. So tap Soul Ring and Mudflats to play Glistening Sphere. Comes in tapped. I was just about to say, oh, we have the colors now, but no. It comes in tapped, but and when it enters the battlefield, proliferate. So we will proliferate that. That's cool. It's almost like playing a rat. And then it taps for 1 mana of any color. So we're going to move to combat. If we swung the cult at someone, they would be able to kill it. So again, even with the 6/6, it's like, well, shoot. We are in a precarious position. Although we do have a flying 2/3, so we can swing that somewhere. So yeah, we'll move to combat, swing it at you. You've been gaining life. We don't like that. Oh, that's right. When we swing, we do gain menace off of your stuff. Tempting, but that's fine. We will pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Slayer's Stronghold doesn't help us. Pay a white, and it taps for colorless, but we can pay red and a white to tap it. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains vigilance and haste until end of turn. Well, looks like we're probably going to do that. So if we swung 11 onto 9 is 20, so that would still be 1 shy of commander damage. So it's almost like, why bother? Not why bother, but it's, because we would then have to waste an entire turn for the final blow for 1 damage, and it would be a freaking 11. So it's like, it's almost better to swing the 11 at you, putting you at 18, but it's actually, what's the difference then? That's 18 versus 20. They're both still going to require an extra strike. Sorry to say it, we're going to swing it at you, because you are doing stuff. There you go, 20 commander damage, and you're down to 12. We're going to pass turn. Looks like mice might win thanks to Goad, which is hilarious, but it still has to get through on Goad. So we're going to, well, it was unblockable, but untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Ooh, that's a good card. That's real bad. That's real bad, bud. Tapping this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Wound Reflection. At the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. We're going to go ahead and pass. I do like the fact that Ronnie is just like, yeah, I'm not even going to do anything. I'm just going to let you morons kill yourselves. We're going to, where was that? The turn ago. But anyway, untap, upkeep, draw over here. That's right, this was that really good card. We will then tap 1, 2 with Soul Ring. 3, 4, 5 to play Forsaken Monument. Colorless creatures. Boom, get +2/+2. Whenever you tap a permanent for colorless, add an additional colorless. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life. So right now we cast 1. So we do gain, lose, lose, lose. And so now we've got a 3/3, a 3/3, a 5/5, all with double strike and lifelink. That's a big deal. So I guess we should have swung that over here, technically, but it doesn't matter because with Wound Reflection out, we can swing an 11 here. As soon as it goes to our end step, they'll get the double, right? Because it's the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they already lost. So yeah, killing them won't be a problem. Wahaha. So once more, into the breach over here, do we really want to bother swinging? Now that we have a 5/5 with lifelink and double strike, that's pretty big. And it does not have Goad. So we're going to go ahead and move to combat and swing it at you. On combat, we get the Sword of the Animus trigger. We get to get a basic land. Well, sure, we'll grab this that we just saw. It goes onto the battlefield tapped, and then we shuffle. So it's a little bit of deck thinning and ramping and all that good stuff in a deck that needs it with the colors. So yeah, you've got a 5/5 with double strike and lifelink coming at you. What you gonna do, punk? Oh, right, I forgot. At the end step. Oh, you know what? Right. Sorry, I apologize. So at Ronnie's end step, each opponent may choose to put counters on a creature. If they do, that creature becomes goaded. Because it's already goaded, we were absolutely going to put the counters because now it's going to one-shot. Well, it always was going to finish the job. So, but it just makes it better because that's definitely going to help when it comes to you. Now, did anybody else want to do that? I don't think so. Yeah, you know what? I think they will. I think we will put some counters on the Daedalic Emperor as well, because now that would be now it's an 8/8. Okay, so but anyway, we're over here, we're swinging 5 lifelink at you with double strike. So that means it basically has first strike and regular hit. So it's going to kill whatever you block it with, unless you do everything. I think we're going to block with the Ant. It doesn't have trample, but it's going to kill it, so we're going to gain 5. It doesn't hit the second time, so we don't get the second lifelink, which is fine. We're going to pass turn. I guess I could have sacrificed the Scrapperling to give it one more, but again, it didn't hit with both hits, so it really wasn't a big a deal. We're moving on to turn 8. The decks are doing okay. Untap, upkeep now. Again, the Mice deck is not. The only reason it's doing well is because it has that Goad on it and it's unblockable. Alright, so we draw a card. Cool. I'm going to tap a Swamp to play a Gnat Miser. That's going to raise my Snail. Then I will tap red, blue, black, and sacrifice my Snail. So it's 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so it's 6. So it is going to hit everybody in the face. Now, see, dang it, I did that wrong again. I should have done that and then played the Gnat Miser so I would get another Snail. But that's fine, whatever. It would have been 1 less damage, so blah, blah, blah. So 6. Each of my opponents is going to take 6 damage, and then I'm going to draw 6 cards. 1, 2. Wow, that was a lot of lands. However, we have to remember that the interesting part is that these guys are going to take another 6 because Wound Reflection is going to trigger on my end step for them. So we'll just do that now. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. So I drew the Gnat Miser, so I didn't have any lands, so I will play. We're going to play Maestro Theater, sacrifice it to get a Swamp, but we're going to gain a life off of it. That works out perfectly. So we're going to tap 1, 2, 3, a blue, black, and one other to play Tidecaller Mentor, which is a rat. So we make our Snail again, and then I will tap this for black and 2 others to play the enchantment Everlasting Torment. Players can't gain life, haha. Damage can't be prevented, and all damage is dealt as though its source had Wither. It's really good that I did that Snail thing because I have 3 cards in hand. They're all lands. There was a big land clump I was coming up on, so drawing 6 cards like that really, really helped speed through that. So that was all main phase 1. Doing all of that stuff. Yes, I sacrificed the Snail, so Grave Pact triggers. So whenever a creature I control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. So they will sacrifice Trapper, they will sacrifice this thing, they will sacrifice the little Scrapperling, even though, that's just fine. We could have put that one planet somewhere, but it's not a big deal. Now here's the thing, do we full send at them? Because they can kill us with commander damage. So this is Summoning Sickness, but everything else, so is this. So these 2 are Summoning Sick. Everything else is good to go. That's a lot of damage. Now they can block and kill something, but they'll block the biggest thing with is the Cult of Skaro. So what else would get through? 20, 21, 22. Oh yeah, that's enough to kill. Darn. I was kind of... I mean, it doesn't matter. Mabel couldn't have killed us. Like we said, it would have been 20... Oh, it is 20 commander damage. Yeah, they couldn't have bumped it up. So it had to come around to this. It had to come down to this. You gotta fight for your life, right? You can't not. Like, we've got other people down to deal with and we're at 12 life, but they are guaranteed to get through and to kill us. So we have 2 blockers, sort of. So, well, not sort of. We have 2 blockers, but yeah, it's a full send situation. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got an 8/8 Daedalic, but on attack, it does get its little trigger. We have to roll a 1 through 4, 3 again, so we make another Daedalic. Hey, that's actually good because that makes another blocker, even though it's gonna die. So that's really good. Yeah, but they're gonna block 6. So yeah, block the Skaro, it dies, but then you're gonna take a bunch of damage. So the rats get +1, +0 for each other rat. 1, 2, 3. So they're getting +3, and they're black, so it's +4. So these are 6s, that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, so it's more than lethal. Alright, sorry Mabel, you were doing really well, but you are the caboose. Now we have 3 blockers. Nobody can gain life. Wound Reflection is out, but it doesn't matter because they're dead, so they're not going to take any extra damage. Pass turn. Now you lost your goaded creature and tap up, keep, draw. Alright, so we 1, 2, 3 to cast Golan Dwarf Emissary. It's a 3/3 whenever you cast a historic spell, create a treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn, so that's why I don't have it in that deck, because it would only happen once. But sacrifice treasure, goad target creature, that's why he's in this deck. Then I will tap 1, 2, 3, 4 to play Relic of Sauron. It's an artifact, so I make a treasure token, and I can... Oh, that works out really well, actually. So we make a treasure, we'll just say that's the treasure right now. You can tap Relic of Sauron to add 2 mana in any combination of blue, black, or red. So we will do that for 2 red, sacrificing the treasure for the 3rd mana to cast the Sound of Drums, enchantment aura, where an enchant creature becomes goaded, and if the enchanted creature would deal combat damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage instead. So the question is, where do we want to put that? Because they have lifelink, if we put it on there, it's going to deal double damage. They're going to get way more lifelink. It's going to make it impossible for us as the Rani to beat them. But what in the world, what in the rat location can we actually do? I mean, I suppose we can goad the flyer, because at least get through, and that'll be 4 damage. I mean, it's not really much, but 4 damage, and then wound reflection, so it would be 8 damage. That's not bad, because it's literally the only thing that's going to get through guaranteed right now. All right, that's all we got. Can't do anything else. Pass turn, untap, upkeep, draw for turn. So I'm going to go ahead and tap 1, 2, 3 and play Chief of the Foundry. So it is a artifact. I can't gain life, but everyone else can lose. And it says other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. So we've got ourselves, it is a 6/6 with double strike and lifelink. And once again, it is not goaded. Right at you. Get a plains on the battlefield tapped. Souffle. Now what are you going to do? It doesn't have trample or anything. So you'll have to block with Golan, because, yeah. But again, that hits for 6, so we gain 6 life. And then pass turn. Oh, I cast a colorless spell, so I did get an extra 2 life off of that. Nice. Yep. Pass turn. Well, it looks like my Abzan Mirror is actually pretty decent. For against my own decks, obviously. But that's a good start, right? Because if it's that strong against my own decks, then all we have to do is a little bit of tweaking, and it should be good against regular people's decks. However, we do have quite a bit to untap over here. So we're not out of the game just yet, punk. Turn 9. Upkeep, draw. Darn it, another land. Wow. Bad land chunk. We'll play a Rogue's Passage, because that is helpful. Okay, and now these are able to attack. That's a good idea. Okay, so we will tap red, blue, black, sacrifice the snail, which is only a 1/1, right? It's not getting any... There are no buffs over here, which is fine. No, it is. It's a 2. So it's going to hit our opponents for 2 damage. And then, of course, at Room Reflection, we'll get you in it for another 2. But then we draw 2 cards, and that's the important part. How about we go ahead and tap 1, 2... Oh, I did forget. Nat Miser says each opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by 1, but no one's even close, so that was never an issue. They weren't at the time either. Tapping 4 to play the instant Hazel's Nocturne. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. So they lose, I gain, and then I'm going to get the Cult of Skaro back to my hand, and I can actually tap 1, 2, 3. Actually, wait, no, I can't. Shoot, I don't have... Well, again, see, it's like, well, what are you winding back, blah, blah. So it would actually be something along the lines of this, because it would be tap the 2 swamps in the Soul Ring to cast Hazel, which would leave these mana up. So then I could do blue, black, red, and 1 other to recast Cult of Skaro. Oh, right, I sacrifice my snail. Everybody has to sacrifice a permanent, or sacrifice a creature. So now the Rani costs 2 more to cast. And who are you? You're going to get rid of this guy, because it's just a little 1/1. And now here's the thing. If we full send, what are we looking at? We could full send and definitely kill you. But that wound reflection could actually do it. So if we full send here, the wound reflection might actually be able to kill you, and then we can take you out, because all you're going to be able to do is cast your commander, or maybe cast something else if you draw something good. So that is most likely what we're going to have to do. All right, so we got 2 Daleks with Menace. This is Menace as well. Awesome. And we've got these 2 rats. the flyer, and our commander, and this little guy over here. So first of all, what do we got? We got this is getting through 1, 2, and it does deal double damage. Yeah, so it's going to be 4 damage in the air that you cannot stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Wound Reflection will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're just taking it. It's not the proper order. It's at the end step, but just so I don't forget things and mess it up. I have 2 creatures to block with. That's it. Now they are getting very good buffs. Well, one of them is actually. So these are 4s. This is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are 6s, and this is a 4. All right, well, like I said, obviously we're going to block these 2 rat colonies because those are the biggest things, right? We don't even have to we can send Wick at you because if we send these 6 creatures at you, that should be 15 damage because you'll block these 2, your creatures will die, these will get through. This is 15 damage. And then at the end step, it hits for another 15. That's 30 damage total. You're at 27, you're dead. 4 damage, commander damage to you. You have 1 blocker. And then you take another 15 at the end step. Boom. Wow. All right. Rats is impressive. There are no end steps. Pass turn. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Yeah, it's a Bonder's Ornament. There's nothing we can really do. And because we're the only character left now, even if we recast Ronnie, it would make the Goad enchantment, but we've already discussed last game that goading would still come at us. So the best we could do is cast one creature to block with. They've got a bajillion. Now, obviously, there is no Wound Reflection aspect to it. So we could chump block their biggest creature, which would be one of the rats. No, actually, both these rats are dead. I forgot. Because they are still just 1 toughness, so there is that. And this says to a permanent player, not opponent, so it still does double damage. So that's 4 in the air, can't be stopped. And then these are menace, so she can't block those. They are getting the buff, so these are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 right there. She blocks this thing, which is the biggest. We also have this 4/4, which is actually a 6/6. So let's say she blocks that. These still get through. So yep, kaboosh, there you go. Rats. Our winner of match 2. That's pretty cool. I was getting a little worried that Artifacts was going to take it, plow through and win like all the games or something, so I'm glad to see another deck win. Artifacts did great, but they, got taken out justifiably. Rats came building up along the way and really took them out. Poor Mice performed well theoretically, but only because it got goaded and had unblockable. If it had not had unblockable, it would have just died and they would have had nothing. So yeah, the mouse deck is really the weakest one. It's just so sad. I really wanted it to be better. I just don't want to have, I really would like to keep it just mice. Same way I started out wanting Kemba to just be cats. I've relented on that and have creatures in there that are not cats because they function better in a mono white deck for commander damage equipment stuff. But I really don't want to do that again with mice. I want to keep it just that, but right now, there's not a lot of support for mice. That's just how it is. Maybe they'll get some more in some future sets, like a year from now or something, but we'll see if the deck lasts that long. But I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Hope you stuck around and saw some cool cards you'd like to put in your decks. How would you go about building these commanders? Do you have these commanders? What do you have in them? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time.